TV production guy here, back with another basic Final Cut Pro training. Today we're going to be talking about editing to the timeline with overwrite and insert cuts, and then we'll also get into just making a basic dissolve. Okay, let's go ahead and open Final Cut Pro. I'm going to start a new sequence. We will call this one editing in timeline. Okay, open that guy up, and let's lay down some shots. Here's our first shot. We're going to grab this ghost shot. I'm scanning through. I'll set an in point right as it starts to move, and I'll hit spacebar to play. Spacebar to stop. I'll set it out with a no. And now I'm going to drop this down, and as I drop this down, first thing I'm going to do on my timeline, it's a little small, I like to have a bigger timeline. I'm going to hit Shift-T to increase the timeline size. And now I'm going to come back up to my preview, and I'm going to click, and I'm going to drag over to overwrite. Overwrite because I want to drop it down right where the cursor was. Now, I'm going to drop down this shot of the owners talking, of the owners of the ghost ship. I'll set an in point right here. Now, I'm not interested with what they're saying. I'm just doing this for a practice purpose. I have my cursor set right here at the end of my last clip on the timeline. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to do a drop, overwrite, edit again. So now it drops down right where the previous edit was. And now I have my two shots back to back. Now I just realized, you know what? I want to put this other shot in of this B-roll, but I want it before the two owners talk. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this right between my two shots. I'm going to put my cursor between my two shots. I'm going to find the shot in my preview that I want. Here's this guy coming out. So I'll set it in. Spacebar to play. Spacebar to stop. And I'll set it out. And now I'm going to grab my center here, pull my video over, and instead of doing an overwrite, I'm going to do an insert. And what that did was, let me do an undo, that put that video right in the middle of these two, but kept both this first shot on the timeline and the second shot in their full capacity. So let's watch that again. I'm going to take it, and I'm going to do an insert edit. And it inserts it between the two other shots. Okay, just so you know, you can also use these two keys down here to do an insert edit with this one or an overwrite with this one. Let me show you another reason why you might need to do an overwrite edit. Let's say I have this shot here of the owners. I got my first shot of the boat sign. Then I have a guy hanging out from the ship. And then I have my two shot of the two owners of the actual ride. Now, let's say I come back to this and I go, you know what? That's the wrong bite that I want for my two owners. Actually, I got to find another bite. Well, the first thing I can do is, instead of coming up here and finding my piece of video that has that, to match frame back to the raw video, I can hit the F key to match frame, and now it has quickly jumped up into here. And I can see where I had my old ins and outs sets. And I'm actually going to come back and set the in at the very beginning. Actually, I'll come on a little bit. And I'll set it right there.
Nighttime might be for the super.
And I'll hit spacebar to stop, and then set it out. I'll grab the video and pull it to overwrite, and drop down. Now, I successfully have laid down 3 shots. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to put a dissolve between the ghost ship sign, this ghost ship sign here, and the guy popping out from underneath the cabin. Now, how you do that is you're going to come up to your effects tab, right next to your other bins, and I'll come to video transitions. And this is a basic transition. Let's go to dissolve, and we'll go cross dissolve. I'm going to pick this cross dissolve up, and I'm going to put it right on top. And now let's watch back. I'm going to kill the audio so we don't hear any audio. Okay, and that made a natural transition. Now, there's a couple other things we can do with this. We don't just have to keep it the way it was. We can right-click on the dissolve. It highlights up. We'll right-click, and we can change the duration. We can change the duration to, instead of 1 second, which it's set at, we can change it to 15 frames. And we'll watch that back. Or we could right-click it, change it to, let's say, 20 frames. Click OK. But then we could also change in what direction it goes. Maybe you want the first shot to overlap the top of the second shot. So I could do a start on dissolve. So it's going to start on this first shot and dissolve this first shot over the second shot. The same thing, we could take it and we could do, instead of a start on, we can do an end on. So when this first shot is ending, the second shot is going to start dissolving over top of it. Okay, we can go back, we'll put it back to center where it was, we'll come to transition, right-click transition align, and hit center on edit. Now that's some basic stuff you can use. I just showed you overwrite edits and insert edits, and now how to put on dissolves. So go on, practice your edits, laying out a set of different shots or bites or whatever you'd like to do, and put some dissolves in between and practice with that. Alright guys, this is TV Production Guy signing off.